He wasn't supposed to make it. He wasn't born rich or connected or lucky. He was just a man trying to build a better life for his son, one small chance at a time. He sold medical devices door to door, heavy machines no one wanted, no one needed. Every day, he'd walk miles through the city, knocking on doors, smiling through rejection, pretending he wasn't terrified. He had a wife, but even love has limits when hunger sets in. The bills piled up, the rent fell behind, and reality started to crush the dream. Then one day she left, and he was alone, with a little boy who still looked at him like he could fix anything. He didn't have money, he didn't have security, but he had belief. Not in the world, not even in luck, but in himself. Then he saw it. A man stepping out of a red car wearing a perfect suit, smiling like he had no worries in the world. He asked him, "What do you do?" The man said, "I'm a stockbroker." And in that moment, he decided, that's what I'm going to be. No degree, no experience, no safety net, just a father and a dream. He begged for a chance, an unpaid internship at a company that hired only one person out of 20. 20 men fighting for the same miracle? He couldn't afford to lose, but every day pushed him closer to breaking. He sold the last of his machines to survive. He worked harder than anyone, studying at night, answering phones all day, running from meetings to pick up his son before the shelter closed. He carried his entire life in a bag. Sometimes he and his boy would sleep in public restrooms, quiet, cold, locked away from the world that didn't even see them. There were nights when he'd cry silently, holding his son close, whispering, "It's going to be okay," even when he didn't believe it himself. But through every loss, every closed door, every insult, he never stopped showing up. Because showing up was all he had left. He failed interviews. He lost sales. He got tickets, towed cars, bad luck stacked on bad luck. But he kept going because quitting meant explaining to his son why dreams weren't real, and he couldn't do that. Then, finally, after months of struggle, sleepless nights, and 1,000 moments where most people would have given up, he got the call. They told him he got the job. He tried to thank them, but the words wouldn't come. All he could do was nod, smile, and walk outside. And when he reached the street, the same street where he'd once begged for another chance, he stopped, looked up, and cried. Not out of sadness, but out of relief, out of proof that everything he'd endured meant something. He'd made it, not just as a professional, but as a father, as a man who refused to let the world decide his worth. He didn't win a fortune that day. He didn't buy a mansion or a car, but he'd found something more valuable. The moment when struggle turns into triumph, when belief becomes truth, when the impossible finally says, "You've earned it." That's what happiness really is. Not the money, not the title, but the quiet certainty that you didn't quit. He didn't chase luck. He built his own, brick by brick, hour by hour, until his dream stopped being a dream and became his life. Because the world will always tell you what you can't do. But sometimes all it takes to change your story is to look it straight in the eye and keep walking anyway. Can you guess the movie?